to a Monday morning art business workshop. I'm excited. My name is Patrick. I run the marketing department here at Art Storefronts. Been doing that going on, I think, 6 years now. And let's get into the agenda for today. And what we normally do is I've got like a pre-recorded video. Sometimes I do it live. Sometimes I do the pre-recorded. The pre-recorded video is from last week, and it's a really good one. And what it does is it sort of gives you a high level who we are, what we do, kind of a demo, and walk you through some of the bells and whistles, the features, the marketing education, our marketing agency, all of these sorts of things that we do. And then because it's MLK and we have a bit of a smaller group today, we can turn it around right after that's over and get directly into your Q&A, your questions. And I would love to answer them. I don't think it's hyperbole when I say this, but being that I run usually 3 of these a week and a couple for our customers, I talk to literally hundreds of artists and photographers a week and have been doing that for over a year now. So heard of a lot of different problems, a lot of different issues you very well may be having, whether it's, you're just getting started, you've never sold your artwork before, you're trying to figure out your niche selection, you're worried about shipping or printing or markups or what media types or what sizes you should be selling, how to market, how to get started, how to email, how to run a sale, how to sell art in general in 2021 in a post, post what do we even call this year that we're living in? I have no idea. Post-pandemic world, I suppose. So I would love to help you through any of those things, and so we'll open it up to Q&A after the video, and I'll explain how you get in the queue and kind of do that. If you're one of the ones that are watching on the socials, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, or I think that's it. I think that's all for that we're streaming to today. Love to answer your questions too. All you have to do is leave a comment wherever you may be watching, and I will get to those on the tail end as well. And I will see you guys in just a second. April, go ahead and start the video. This is the homepage I'm talking about that we just recently redid, and I think it does a really good job articulating sort of who we are, what we do at a very high level. And if you scroll down the page, there's a bunch of videos and me explaining a whole bunch of things, everything that we do from top to bottom. But our tagline, which states everything that you need to start, run, and grow a successful art business, really does sum up what we do. We get pigeonholed as they're a website company. They're a website company. And yes, we do offer websites, but it is a tiny, tiny portion of what we do. Ultimately, we learned a couple of years ago, the hard way, by the way, if we are going to grow and be successful as a business, Art Storefronts, that is 100% dependent, surprise this one, but on how successful our customers are, on how much art and photography our customers are selling on a yearly basis. And so when you look at that as the problem that we're solving, it becomes so much more than a website, because a website is not enough. But still, we're going to talk about the website. I'm going to get into the other layers as we go down. So it does indeed all start with the website. I will pull one up because it'll make it more interactive. And, anyone that's been attempting to sell art or photography for any period of time, and I'll use Bono today, they know one thing conclusively: selling art in an e-commerce capacity digitally online is not like selling other items. It's not like selling swim fins or ladies' handbags or electric scooters or bicycles or anything else, right? Buying art, okay, and buying art online is A, an extremely visual process, and B, an extremely friction-filled process. And what do I mean by friction? I mean, friction is all of the various different things, okay, that will prevent a visitor to your website from turning into a buyer, okay? And so really everything that we do with our software is attempt to solve for this friction, okay? To solve for the friction, to solve for how important the visual aspects are towards selling art and photography online. And it's never any one feature. It's all of the features working together. It can be little things like when you select a media type, which is canvas, it changes to a canvas, a gallery wrapped canvas. Most people don't even know what a canvas is. And so we've developed special videos that show the differences, the nuances in the real world, what an actual canvas print looks like, what's going to show up at their house, what are the high points of this one, is canvas different than metal? Oops, I missed a click on that. And so you can see what a metal print looks like and how it's sitting flat, eventually how it's hanging up, all the nuances, the intricacies, because it is such a visual process buying art. We have a feature called the wall preview, which allows you to cycle through various different room types. Again, Such a visual process, buying art. Not only can you circle through the different room types, and yes, you can add your own room type images in. We use some generic ones by design, and you can size pieces up and down, see what it's going to look like. Do I need a 36 by 49? Is that too big? Do I instead want a 28 by 38? We're making it easier for your potential customer to get to a buying decision. What if they want to, their walls aren't white, right? What if they're this ugly color? Or there's something a little bit darker. Is the piece going to look good with this color, right? Because again, buying art is just such an incredibly visual process. Another feature that everybody likes to talk about that we get a lot of plaudits for is
Here we are
we have this
on
feature,
artist and art.
excuse me, mute that, called live preview with AR. Okay. And what this is this allows somebody to come to your website with their telephone, can be iPhone or Android. You can see the phones here on the right hand side. And without downloading any apps, they can just use their phone, their camera, and press one button on your website that says live preview. And what this is going to do, it's going to take the camera on their phone, okay, which is going to show the real room, the real wall, where the art will potentially go. And then it takes your piece in augmented reality and it projects it onto the wall. And you're able to move it around with your finger. You're able to size it up, size it down, take screenshots. And so, is it going to look great in the room? What size do I need to get, right? And so, again, this is attempting to solve for the visual friction of, I don't know if it's going to work in my room. I don't know what it's going to look like, right? It's just getting them one step closer to a buying decision, removing the friction from the process. And, you know, I've been doing e-commerce marketing, digital marketing my entire life. Everyone loves to gravitate towards the wall preview or the live preview with AR. But the reality is when you do this for any period of time, it's not about one individual feature. It's about all the features working in conjunction, and you never know which one's going to end up. If we think of a sports analogy like a basketball team, it's how many players you have on the court that can contribute, right, to eventually scoring that basket. And so it's why we do the demo process. We have literally hundreds and hundreds of features, all to remove the friction, all to help you get better at selling art and photography online. And when you request one of these things, our outreach team will reach out, have a conversation with you, and schedule it. It goes like an hour and 10 minutes, and we just go through feature after feature after feature. So it's not about any one of them; it's about all of them working in conjunction. Independent of that, let's keep working down the page. So we also have a ton of back-end software. It turns out running an art business, art photography business, there's a ton of individual little nuance and things that can slow you down. Okay, things like uploading an image and how many images do you have to upload to your web page for all the various different media sizes and types you have. It's very helpful to be able to just upload one, have all the sizes auto-populate for you, and tell you exactly what you can sell. Things like markups. How do you set markups? Can you do it globally? Can you do it per media type, right? And so no one likes to talk about the back end features, but we have a slew of those as well, all there to make your life easier, to give you time back. Okay. Um, let's talk about our fulfillment. And we love talking about this. This is in our company DNA pretty significantly, but I'll pull up a website. So we're on Bill Stidham's site. Or I should probably start here actually. So we are integrated. Well, let me start here. You can have it any which way you like. If you're an artist that just does originals and you get orders, obviously you're going to be responsible for fulfilling the originals because you have them. If you're an artist that has a local printer or a photographer that has a local printer, you really like using your printer, you can use your printer. The orders come in, you send the order to your printer. We call that self-fulfillment, no problem. What we recommend our customers do, though, is integrate with one of our print partners, and I'll get into the reasons why. But we've got Graphic Dimensions on the East Coast, we've got Bay Photo on the West Coast, we've got Print Partner for our customers in Canada, and then we just recently integrated with a company called Guten that handles the merchandise, and I'll get into that in a second. How does it work? You sign up, you get your site set up, which usually takes 14 days or less. You click a button that says, I want to integrate with this print partner. An order comes into the website. The printer gets paid. You get paid. The order gets printed. The order gets boxed. Your logo goes on the side of the box. Boom, it ships to the customer. You touch absolutely nothing. There's nothing you have to touch, nothing you have to do. All happens automatically. And again, it's to give you back that amount of time. And, you know, no one has time in today's day and age to be dealing with the admin. Okay. Any time that you spend on the admin, by which I mean sending the order to your local printer, uh, uh, checking on the proof, sending tracking numbers, did it ship, any of that correspondence, all of that, if you're spending your time on that, is time you are not spending on your biggest problem, which is your marketing. So we really believe like streamlining sort of this drop shipping, print on demand, automated fulfillment is a very, very wise decision if you want to create successful artists and photographers. Now, just recently, this was probably what, like a month before Christmas, maybe, we integrated with a company called Guten. And what it allows our customers to do is sell merchandise of a myriad of different kinds, hoodies, iPhone cases, tank tops. They can come in, adjust the image exactly how they want to see it. Maybe they want to tilt it depending on what case it is, and get iPhone cases and a number of different other items. We've got throw pillows and I clicked out of it, and coffee mugs, and we're adding more and more and more and more of these. And on the subject of merch, we realize again, if you go back to our original mission, why we exist, we need to create a set of circumstances, a set of conditions such that the artist, the photographer can make and grow as successful a business as they want. And so some artists look at this merch and they're like, they turn their noses up at it and like, that's not fine art. Why would I ever want to do that? Some are like, I'm all in, I love it. We don't care. Our job is to provide as many different opportunities for artists and photographers to be successful as possible. And we've been totally blown away by how much of this stuff actually, believe it or not, sells. And some of it is higher margin than you would think. Like a throw pillow is $44, and what does a tote bag cost? I think a tote bag costs $38. So sell it or not, you have every opportunity imaginable available to you. If you want to have it all, in kind of like Bill does here on his site, where you have your fine art media types across the top, and then you have the merch all in one product page. Great. If you want to have individual items in the store, you want to have your artwork, fine, and then you just want to have a line of phone cases. If you want to have one for a couple of weeks and then turn it off, you can do any and all of that, and it's one click to turn it on at any point in time. It's automated. It's completely automated in terms of fulfillment, and that's not going to change. And we realize again, like artists and photographers are essentially just creators, right? You're just creators, and you have a talent. You have a talent with a brush, or you have a talent with the lens. You want to monetize that talent. Okay. So again, our job is to give you as many different opportunities to be able to monetize that talent as possible. So that's how we go about it. And again, it's a debate about when to use it or when not. But somebody on one of these sessions earlier was like, who's the greatest rock band of all time? I was like, no, who? He's like, the Rolling Stones. He goes, guess what the Rolling Stones have at their concerts? I said, what? A giant booth for merch. He's like, they sell hundreds of thousands of dollars of it a year. If the Stones sell it, I'll sell it. So anyway, I thought that kind of stuck with me. It was fun. So that's our print fulfillment. And I should say too that we're adding calendars and we're adding puzzles and we are adding photo books. And to be honest with you, if they come out with a line of hot air balloons, we'll add hot air balloons too, right? Because again, it's creating a set of circumstances such that the artist and photographer can be successful. We don't care where the success comes from. I don't care if Brian gets into business and he's the number one iPhone selling case guy of the entire United States. He's got a successful business, right? So not for us to decide. Support. We believe we have best in class support. If you took a look at our Facebook ads and you scrolled through the 350 of them, you'll see more positive responses for the support than just about anything else. We're very, very good at this. Yes, it's in all the venues you think it is: email, phone, chat support. But in addition to that, kind of what I'm most proud about is we run 6 days a week, including Saturdays, Zoom sessions, just like the one you're on right now. Okay. And you can pop into one at any point in time with any support related issue and get fixed, get unstuck. There's screen shares. They can take over control of your computer and just get you sorted instantaneously. So we're very, very good at it. Not only do we support our application, we ask you guys, we teach you guys marketing all year long, and which I'll get into in a second. What if you're having a problem with Facebook or with Instagram or with MailChimp or with your Facebook ads? We actually support that too. You can pop into a Zoom session and say, hey, Patrick, I'm stuck on my Facebook ads. I'm getting this message. Can you help me? And our team will get you unstuck. That's an amazing thing. There's not many companies that do that. So I'm very, very proud about that. That's in terms of the overall website picture. And we essentially do all of that, okay, to give you your time back such that you can work on the biggest problem that every single solitary person on this Zoom call has, which is the marketing problem. You need to get better at it. And let me tell you, I've got 4,700 customers, and there's only one universal truth about every one of them, right? Every niche imaginable, every subject matter all over this country and others, every one of them has a marketing problem. The person that just past $500,000 a year in sales has a marketing problem. They want to grow that business, they have a marketing problem. The person that just is getting started, sold their first piece, they have a marketing problem, and everybody in between, right? It is the biggest problem. And so, we want to create successful customers. We realize we need to teach artists and photographers how to market. And so, how did we solve for that particular problem? We created collectively what might as well be called the Art Business University. That's how we look at it, because I'm not sure there's a better term to explain it. One, we have the best digital education that exists in terms of selling art and photography online, full stop. I'm hang my hat on this. We have detailed documentation that we call playbooks on every marketing facet imaginable. How to run an email campaign, how to run a Black Friday sale, how to go live on Instagram, how to go live on Instagram and Facebook at the same time, how to go live on Instagram and Facebook at the same time with your laptop on a cell phone. Detailed, step-by-step, audio, video, screenshot documentation. If we're asking you to send emails, we will give you the email copy. You just adjust it to taste for what you're doing. So the playbooks are incredible. They're very robust, and they're very focused on teaching you how to market. We pair that with a 365-day-a-year marketing calendar, okay? It has on it beginner, intermediate, and advanced. You take on what you can take on. You're never not knowing what you need to be doing on a week in, week out basis. You start doing, first, you're overwhelmed. You're like, I've never done this. This is crazy. How am I going to survive? And then you fight through it, and you got through the beginner level, and then you take on the intermediate, and then you take on the advanced. The majority of our customers follow this doggone near verbatim year in, year out, because it works. It's effective. Not only does it tell you what to do, but it solves for one of the other greatest pandemic of our lifetime, the shiny object syndrome, okay? Not only does the calendar tell you what to do, it tells you what not to do, okay? What not to be spending your time on, right? And how do I know this? One, I'm very good at digital marketing. Two, we have 4,700 customers, and I get to see all of their data. I can tell everyone on this call conclusively, out of the 4,700 customers that I have not seen anyone turn a positive ROI on marketing on Pinterest. No one is making any money from marketing on Pinterest. So I'm going to tell you, you don't have to worry about Pinterest. I see you laughing, Mary. I do not want you spending any time on Pinterest, period. Waste of time. So too with SEO, okay? So the calendar is equally powerful on what you need to focus on is what you ignore, okay? It's what you ignore, and that's a big deal. Number 3 of the Art Business University is what we call office hours, okay? We take the entire customer base, we split it into 3. Until you sell $2,000 directly on your website, you're in the traction group. And after you sold $2,000 on your website, you're in the ramping group. After you sold a much higher revenue threshold that we don't publish, you get in the advanced group, which we call growth. We hold week in, week out, every single solitary week, and we took 1 week off for New Year's, but essentially 48, 49 weeks a year. Zoom calls like this. You come on a weekly basis. It's either me or members of my team. We go over the playbooks. We go over the calendars. We talk about wins. How somebody landed an interior decorator and sold $35,000 worth. They're going to come on and tell their story. Not only are they going to come on and tell their story, they're going to say, here's the email that did it. Here's the copy. Here's the Facebook post. And you can go and look at that stuff, right? And you're learning in concert with your peers. Digital online education is not enough. Okay. If you look at the stats out there, I don't care who it is, Kajabi or Masterclass or lynda.com, 30% of the people that buy those courses actually finish them. So we can't just have digital education. We have to have in-person teaching sessions, and everyone knows how to Zoom now. It's our new reality. So those sessions, which we started like, I think 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead of the pandemic, have been the single solitary biggest fundamental change to our business we've ever had. If before the pandemic, I had 100 customers, and I told those 100 customers via email, guys, Black Friday's coming. You got to get going on your sale. Here's the playbook, right? And then I recorded a podcast episode, and I was like, we're going to do this. 35 out of the 100 would take action. After these video sessions where I'm able to go through things, people are able to ask their questions, raise their hands, get unstuck, learn your peers. I have 75 people taking action on that sale, and it's fundamentally changing the business. It is making our customers more successful, more accountable, actually staying focused. Like, look, you guys are all solopreneurs for the most part. I mean, we could pull this entire group, and not a lot of you guys have a big team. You don't have an office behind you where you're yelling at an intern to help you out. You are a solopreneur, okay? Myself, the CEO, we've been entrepreneurs our entire life. I know it's a roller coaster. I know there's highs and the lows. When you're on those lows, you need a kick in the pants, right? You need to be lifted up sometimes, and that's what these Zoom sessions do too, which is incredible. We follow it up with a Facebook group that is highly curated. Okay. There's no trolls. There's no nonsense in there, right? You've seen some of the other groups out there online and how ridiculous it gets in those things. And artists are sharing with other artists, photographers are sharing with other photographers, the people that are in the landscape niche are talking to others in the landscape niche. Hey guys, what do you think of this new direction? What did you use in terms of pricing? They're publishing their wins. And so sometimes you can't just hear it from us, the official company mouthpiece. And so it's nice to have a whole bunch of people that are doing this same journey at the same time, helping each other out, sharing, what are you doing here? What are you doing there? So that collectively is the Art Business University. And it's like a college. I mean, it really is. And the difference is you pay your tuition, you come in, and there's no graduates because the learning never stops, right? And in addition to that, it never will stop. In today's digital marketing landscape, the goalposts are just constantly moving, right? Like so quickly, you feel like you just learned something and it moves over here. So we keep you up to date with all of that. As a final, about 6 months ago, or maybe 5 months ago now, we started an in-house marketing agency. And it's an in-house marketing agency that only does one thing. It helps artists and photographers sell more art online and off. And we believe already, as of current today's date, it's the biggest sole-focused art and photography marketing agency in the world. And that's not hyperbole. I've been asking on these calls, can someone name me an agency that specializes only in helping artists and photographers sell their work? I haven't found one. No one's ever put one in the chat for me, especially not a big one. Why? Because my aforementioned point, selling art and photography is not like selling swim fins or ladies' handbags or scooters. It's hard, right? It's really hard. And we're good at it because we've been working at it for a long time. Also, I get upset, right? Because I look at all of you guys as like, you own a McDonald's, right? And if you owned a McDonald's, you have to know how to do the ordering. You have to know how to clean the floors. You have to know how to open the building. You have to know how to operate the drive-through window. You have to be able to flip burgers and fries and do all of that and do the ordering, right? Like it's your business. You need to understand those things. But at the same time, I'm not naive in the sense that 80% of our customers still have full-time jobs or in some capacity. Maybe they're service-based photographers and they're trying to sell their fine art. So I get it. You need to be able to have the ability. If you don't have the time to do the marketing and you have the resources, you need a la carte things that you can jump off the shelf. Hey guys, I need my Instagram profile tuned up. I need my Facebook page tuned up. I need to help with a sales campaign. You need to be able to do that sometimes. In addition to things like we'll completely build your website for you. You don't want to do that. You hate building websites. Your fears in life, in order, are death, taxes, and building another website. I get that. I get that, right? So you can drop your images in a folder. Tell us to build the site, we'll build the site for you, okay? We'll manage your Facebook ads, okay? We will manage all of your social posting. And again, it goes back to the top premise. Like, our job is to create successful customers. And so we looked at it 6 months ago and it's like, we need to have an agency. And then some people are like, well, I want to do it myself. Fantastic. Our job is to have the best DIY product, do it yourself, learn, come on the sessions, and then also have an agency where you can pay. And again, it's a la carte or it's, up to almost full service. And the amazing thing about it is, I've been doing marketing a long time, right? What do all marketers love? A case study. Oh, we love a case study, right? With the sexy data about this huge win, and we publish it on social media and we use it for lead generation. So totally did that all the time. Okay, guilty. And if you lose, you don't publish it, right? You wait till you hit a winner and do all that. But it used to be, I would go and run a case study with a customer, and I'd have limited bandwidth to do that, and then we would build the playbooks. Well, guess what I have now? I've got agency staff. I've got one guy that all he does all day long is spruce up Instagram pages for artists and photographers. He did 65 of them last week, or probably 65 last month. So imagine the learnings that we're getting. What happens is the learnings are going right back into the playbooks, and then they're coming onto the Zoom sessions and they're teaching, and we've got a little flywheel going on, right? We've got a little artist and photographer education flywheel. So it doesn't matter if you ever order a single solitary service from the agency, and we don't even care if the agency ever makes any money, in all honesty, because all it does is just improves the product, makes more successful customers, and helps us grow. So we really, at the end of the day, are fundamentally a business that can be thought of as a rowboat, right? It takes our oar, your oar. We jump in the boat in the same time. And if we can get that thing rowing in the same direction, the faster we can get that going, the better everybody does. So that's Art Storefronts in a nutshell. That's my presentation. Hey guys, for some reason my super special green screen thing knocked out, which sucks. I'm going to try and get that going. And while I'll explain sort of how we do things. At the bottom of the Zoom window, and just bear with me as I try to get my camera going. At the bottom of the Zoom window, there's like a participants tab. And if you go on that participants tab, what you can do is you can do the raise hand feature. It's like a digital raise hand, and that sort of lets me know that you have a question that you want answered. Let's see if I can't trick this thing into going back on. Nobody wants to look at an ugly green screen. Ooh, come on. I know what I can do. I'll switch cameras. Anyway, so you can use the raise hand feature in Zoom, and that'll let me know, like, hey, you've got a question. Call on them next. I might not be able to fix this. Or you can put a question in the chat. I'm seeing those, and there's a bunch that are in there already. So I'll start working through those one by one. But yeah, love to hear, where you are in your journey, where you are in your business as an artist, as a photographer, what you've been trying to do. And I'll start off right in the chat because I got a really good question from Lisa, and it's, how do I know if my art is good enough to sell, right? And I love that question. It's a fantastic question, and you really never know till you know, right? Like we collectively call it the art validation stage, right? Determining whether or not somebody will part with their hard-earned cash for your art or photography. And there's some nuance to it. It's only true if you do it to people not named mom, dad, sister, brother, friend, girlfriend, because those people will lay down in traffic for you. Of course they will buy it, right? So really what you need to know is that you can sell your art or your photography to strangers, right? To strangers that don't have some sort of an emotional bond with you. And that's when you sort of know that yours is good enough. So that's an important sort of, precursor premise to the whole entire thing. But how would you do it? And stated another way, how would you do it in the times that we're living in? Because pre-situation, which by the way, you can't even call it what it is anymore on the social media sites, or they like ban you. So I can't even say that the dumpster fire of a health related situation that we're living in. Pre that situation, I would say get a booth. It can be a farmer's market. It can be a swap meet. It can be an art show, a fair, craft show, something like along those lines. And you get a booth, you get in there with your work, you get enough of your work printed, or you show the originals, and you go and you man a shift for 8 hours. Excuse me, you have some conversations. Now, that was easy enough in the normal world that we used to all live in. Now, in today's day and age, many of those opportunities are not really there. They're not really as, accessible, or if they are, not enough people show up. So that's an issue, right? So in that situation, I think there's a couple of different ways to go about it. One, if you have any sort of decent social following whatsoever, and I'm going to punctuate this with like a visual. And so I just got to get my little stack here. Apologize for 10 seconds of dead air, but let me grab this stack so I can show you. Okay. So in today's day and age, if you have any following on any of the socials whatsoever, here's how you would do this. And I forgot who I was talking to directly. I believe it was Lisa. Let me make sure. I think it's Lisa. Is it Lisa? Yes, Lisa. Okay. You get your work printed out. Okay. There's 5 basic media types that everyone should have their work printed on. And I'm going to go through them quickly, and you don't even necessarily need to do all of them. But this is, and the green screen is screwing. Oh, wow. My little background image came back on. Cool. The green screen is screwing this up, but you need a paper. Okay. This is a fine art paper. It's framed. Again, I'm sorry. The green screen is screwing it up. You need a canvas. Okay. So you can see ready to hang canvas. You need the new kid on the block, metal. So this is a metal print. Okay. This is acrylic. We like acrylic. High price point. I can get into some of the various nuances and tradecraft of these things. And this is sort of a new one that not many people have, and it's wood, okay? A 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch maple, sheet of maple, I believe. But what you do is you get your work printed out on this. You go live on Facebook or Instagram, wherever you have the biggest following. It can be on your personal page, and you can start out by attempting to sell it any which way. And you could say, guys, hey, it's me, Lisa. As a result of this dumpster fire of a situation we're living in right now, I've decided to finally take my art business seriously and try to launch it. So I'm having a flash sale of all of my best work. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to show it. Here it is. This is a beautiful photo I took in the Amalfi Coast, specifically Positano, Italy. I was set up with my tripod right before sunset. You talk about the work, whatever it is. You talk about the fact that it's ready to hang. You quote a price, and you say, send me a DM. Send me a DM, a message here on Facebook, or you can text me. You can email me. I take Venmo. I take PayPal. And I'm trying to launch my art business and go through 5 or 6 or 7 of your pieces. Lisa, you do that. And until you do that, you'll never know if it sells. So that's sort of the easiest way to do it in, you know, the world that we're living in right now, which is obviously, you know, not so easy to, you know, go and get into a public place, right? And you don't even necessarily need a booth. Like sometimes you can just do it guerrilla style, right? Like drive to the busiest corner in your town, set up a table, put all your work on it, and say flash sale. Get a big banner that says flash sale, and see how many people stop, and see if you can sell any of the pieces. And you know, I love this quote from Picasso, which he said, it was in like the middle portion of his career, but he said, early on, my drawings did not sell for big prices, but they all sold. They all sold. And his point was the importance of getting your work out there into the world and making it move, even if it's for super inexpensive prices, even if you lose a couple of dollars, you know, or break even and it just pays for the canvas or whatever medium you're using. You got to move the product and you got to get it into the world. So if you haven't taken that shot, Lisa, you owe it to yourself to take that shot. How are you ever going to know? It's always going to be a hobby until you do. So that's really, really important. It's a really, really important thing to contemplate. Carolyn asked earlier, she's a fused glass fine art artist, I guess I would say, or you know, does 3-dimensional stuff. You know, the reality with 3D stuff, and this could be really any crafting or, you know, sculpture especially, is there isn't a single solitary platform out there for you folks, at least not that I'm aware of. And so your options are, you need to have a website, and so you're going to pick an e-commerce website. And so while our website is tailored to sell wall art, it's also just an e-commerce website. And I'll just unmute you, Carolyn, because I've got you up right there. You'll need to hit the mic button. It's in the bottom left-hand corner, and then we can get into it. So the large.
Sorry, I'm moving around, but I've got a piece of my glass art behind me.
Yeah, it's jazzy.
You see that?
Yeah, really cool.
That's about 16 inches diameter. I also do tables. Let me show you.
Do you blow it all? Is it like blown glass?
No, I don't. I do fused glass.
Fused. Oh wow, cool.
Oops, if you can see that.
Yeah, no, it's really
about
cool.
15 by 18 inches by an inch thick. I work with bullseye glass. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm targeting high-end interior designers and glass art collectors, and later on the corporate market, because there's so many, you know, corporations here in the San Francisco Bay Area, Silicon Valley.
Yes, that's for sure. So a couple of different things. So let's deal with the software piece, and then let's deal with the marketing piece. You need to have a website, right? You know,
I'm working on that now. I'm doing a WordPress site, etc.
Yeah, the WordPress site is, you know, and I'm very pro WordPress. I've been on WordPress my entire life. It's a pretty portfolio site, maybe a little bit of e-commerce feature built in. So if you go that way, that's fantastic. If you went with us, it's the same thing, right? An e-commerce website for you is going to be the same e-commerce website for anyone. You're just putting normal products in there rather than stuff that hangs on the wall per se. But you have the same problem that every other artist has, which is you have a marketing problem, right? And, you know, the interesting thing that you said there that I love is, you know, I'm targeting, the subtlety of it is I'm targeting high net worth individuals, right? I mean, you could say interior designers, or you could say corporate boards or whatever, or, you know, big companies. But the reality is you're targeting high net worth individuals. That's what you're attempting to do with your marketing. Yeah. And what everyone says in this situation is like, how do I target high net worth individuals? And then I immediately reply, I love that question. Because aside from the 99-cent stores, every business in existence is trying to target the high net worth individuals, right? That's what all of us want all the time. And so I bring that up to say is that there's not really any genuine hacks that provide a higher ROI than just doing the marketing. Everyone's followers, and I don't know where my doggone pen is. I'm going to use whatever this thing is. Everyone's followers are essentially a bell curve, okay? You got this portion of the bell, which are the people that don't have any money. They'll like and they'll comment and they'll share, but they're not going to buy anything. And then you have lower middle class, upper middle class, and then you have the high net worth individuals, right? A bell curve. So what happens is that you can just worry about getting more and more people into your bell curve. Your bell curve goes up as you have more attention. Yes, you've got more people that are only going to like and comment and share and not buy. Yes, you have a bunch of middle class people that maybe some will buy, maybe some won't. And then you get more high end people. Or you can attempt to go and target the high-end people. And what I've seen time and time and time again is it is better to just focus on consistent marketing and bring in what the bell curve brings in than it is attempting to just target the high net worth individuals. You will get more ROI out of doing it that way than otherwise. And I use a perfect example. We have the private Facebook group that I alluded to earlier. And what always happens in there is that if somebody gets like a, really big sale, they head there to like, kind of do the humble brag, celebrate, right? Like I just sold, And so a couple months ago, a gal she landed a big interior design contract and it was $35,000. Do you know how she got it? The interior designer's daughter was following her art and liked her for 2 years and then told her mom. And that's how she made the sale, right? And so what I bring that story up to say, more often than not, by being active and focused on your marketing, what we teach, and not worrying about whether or not it's a low, middle class, or high end person, you end up attracting more of them on balance. Just how it works. So it's you're going to sell more. Okay, you're going to build your business quicker by focusing on your marketing collectively, not worrying about who it's targeting per se, than you are just writing emails to every corporate board and every single solitary interior designer all day long and not doing anything else. That's what I would say. But we teach that all year long.
Yeah, no, and fortunately I have an extensive background in B2B sales and marketing. I mean,
Awesome.
that was what I did professionally for many years. So
Got it.
I understand targeting very well.
Mhm.
I'm just learning. I'm actually working with someone else at the moment.
Mhm.
Before I found out about you guys, um,
Well, like a consultant or like a what?
who's an artist who has a class. He's teaching online sales for other artists,
Got it.
and very very targeted Facebook ads and stuff like that. But I was very curious what you're doing. Clearly,
I know this guy actually. Long hair, wears like
Yep.
bowler caps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know he is.
Yep. I'm sure you do, because he has folks, who work with you too, that he's working with. But um, I was just curious if you on the three-dimensional work, because of course I need to show my work in interiors and stuff like that, which I'm looking at the software to do that.
Yeah.
So that people can, because it's so important for people to be able to see the
Oh,
work
it's so visual. No question. No
in
question.
the
Yeah.
correct setting.
Yeah. Yep.
And I didn't know if you had tools. I mean, you have tools to show flat work on walls.
Yes.
Um,
I mean, the live preview that we have works pretty well with sculpture, actually. Incredibly well with sculpture, actually. But also to, in your case, you're going to end up having to Photoshop into a lot of interiors. I mean, that's just the long and the short of it. So, but you knew that already.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm sort of looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your biggest issue forever is just going to be the marketing. But I love the product. I think it's super unique, and you probably don't have as much competition as many of the folks doing wall art.
I don't, and
Yeah.
I've gotten feedback from people in the area in my area who say, "Oh yes, like the tables, high-end interior design, interior designers will pay $5,000 or $10,000 for that." So,
Yep.
From people who know, so just working on it. But thank you,
Yeah.
thank you for what you guys are doing.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. Great questions. Okay, there was one more in the chat, I think, and then I'm going to get to Caroline's. Hold on, and I'll unmute you in just a second, Caroline. Yeah, so Gene's saying, I'll unmute you too because you're up there, Gene. Early on, when you're just trying to get started, everyone's like, well, I don't have the cash flow, or, I'm not in a financial position where you can join. Like, don't worry. We put out so much strong content for free, like amazing stuff for free. You got to just follow a lot of the advice, right? Like, how are you attempting to sell your stuff currently?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm asking, how are you attempting to sell your stuff currently?
How am I doing it?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't recently, but I would have like an art show or whatever you want to call it in my home. I'd invite people to my house.
Love that.
See the studio and see the work on the walls, and word of mouth. I have it on. I'm a corner unit, so I have my artwork displayed outside.
Love that
on
too.
my patio.
Yeah.
And so people know that I'm an artist, and every now and then they'll just stop in and take a look at what my latest pieces are.
Got it.
But I had dinner with a couple. Another couple invited me to have dinner with this other couple, and I didn't know them. And they were telling me, "Oh, she's an artist. You should see her work." Brought out the cell phone, showed them a couple pieces. They said, oh, wow, that's really nice. I said, well, I'm having a show next week. Well, I can't make it there, but I can make it the day before. And I said, well, that's fine. We'll do a private showing. And they came in and picked up, I think it was, my sale was just under $1,500.
Great work. Nice work. So all of that's working. Got to do more of it. Are you actively, do you have Facebook account, Instagram account, posting to those regularly, or you are? Good. Good. So what I would do is I would start doing live art shows inside your little studio, inside your little setup, and just talk about the art.
I'm putting notes about what you said in terms of the, what do you call it? Merchandising?
Yes.
Maybe purchase a few pieces like that.
Yeah. Oh, have to do it. Have to do it.
And do like a flash sale or,
yes,
I don't know, something.
Yes. But the long and the short of it is, I love that you're taking advantage of, what you have available to you, corner unit, right? Like, the ability to have people come in and see the art in that capacity. Keep working that. Fantastic. Just mix in some of the digital piece, and, you need to do some more selling, you need to do some more validation, and then eventually, when you're ready to join, we'll get you plugged into the marketing, and it's all marketing from there. But if it's selling already like that to strangers, you're on the path.
Mm-hmm. It's just going to take time, I guess.
Yeah. Like everything in life, sadly, right?
In a pandemic.
Oh, yes. Yes. I can't say that word though. Otherwise, literally they will ban my video. We are living in crazy, crazy social media times right now.
Mm-hmm.
So got to be super careful. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Next up is going to be Carolyn. Carolyn, go ahead. You'll need to unmute mic bottom left. I'll let you know when you get it. Usually if you just click on that mic icon on the bottom left. Caroline, are you there? Okay, I'm going to skip you for the time being. If you get your mic sorted, let me know. And I'm going to go to, oh, you already had your hand up, Caroline. What am I talking about? Do you have another question?
Oh, there we are.
Yeah, you might as well go.
It wasn't unmuting. I was doing everything.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to see if you had, do you have any other glass artists or sculptors in your group?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Okay. April, will you get the link to Miro and his wife? Just put it in the Instagram chat. That would probably be the best way to do it.
Okay, I'm on Zoom. So in the Zoom chat.
Yep.
So put what in? I'm sorry.
So I'm just going to show you an example of, we have this husband and wife team that are pretty awesome that do sculpture. So yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see their website. If
yeah.
You put that
yeah.
in the chat.
Yeah. April's tracking it down. She'll get it. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Anyways. All right. Philip's up next, and then I'll go to Anna, and I see the questions in the chat too. Don't worry. I'll get those. Sharon and Dawn. But go ahead, Philip.
Hello there.
Hey.
Well, I'm a cartoonist.
Okay.
And I've been thinking about doing something different.
Mm-hmm.
I want to sell paintings and my art and I'm also thinking about, and I'm also going to do Facebook groups, create my own Facebook groups for my page.
Okay.
And I'm almost done with my website for my page.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost done for my website, and I need help creating a account with Art
Storefronts, yeah. You're probably not ready yet, Philip, because the first thing you need to do is you need to find out whether or not your work will sell. You're sort of in the same boat that Lisa is. And so, step number one, get some of your cartoons printed, right? And some of your art printed, and they don't need to be huge samples. Like, this whole merchandising stack that I went through, right? Like fine art paper, canvas. You notice these things are really small. I can hold them up on video. This whole stack only cost, I think, $90 to get printed, right? They're small images. You start with these guys, and it's the same advice to you that it was to Lisa. You have to see whether or not it'll sell. And it doesn't matter who you sell it to, right? In any capacity that you can, whether, you set up a table or a booth, if you have something in your community that works that way, or you go live on the socials with a video and be like, hey guys, it's me, Philip. I'm trying to launch my art business. I want to show you guys a couple of pieces. If anyone's interested, make me an offer. I take PayPal, Venmo. You can even send a check, right? And you go through it that way. Hold on one sec, guys. I'm sorry. I'm on a call, son. I'm on a call. Sorry, my kids are home and they're yelling at me. But you got to attempt to sell it first, Philip, and see whether or not it'll sell, right? And, you know, there's no shortcut to that step whatsoever. It's the first thing that you got to do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. My pleasure. And, you know, early on too, and especially Philip, like everybody thinks like, ooh, I've got to get my website up. And, you know, I got to get going on that. If I've never attempted to sell my art, I would not waste 2 seconds on my website, not even a second. I would figure out the quickest way to get my art to market, okay, and to see whether or not it will sell, to validate that it will sell. That is a critically important thing. Critically important thing. I can talk more about that if we want. Anna, you're up next. Go ahead, Anna.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Can
How are you
see
doing?
me?
Yeah. No, I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to share my video.
Yep. Gotcha.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anna. I'm from Sugarland, Texas. How's everyone?
Good.
So we're new at this. We're the first responder team. That's what we call it.
Yep.
So I like abstract. We do abstract painting. My husband is the dentist. I'm the nurse, but he does the sculpting.
Okay.
So we have sold our sculpture. I mean, one for $5,000, but you know, just for like immediate family members. And again, I do abstract. I mean, how do I share with everyone? So I wanted to know if we need to create a DBA. What is the licensing in Texas, and how do we go about this safely as far as posting on Facebook, Etsy, and all that? Because do I need a consultant? Because just to kind of like assess as to how much our sculptures and paintings are worth, and you know, I hear a lot that they charge $1.50 per, I think, square inch for, you know, a painting, but I don't know how much. I mean, we
I
have
can
an
tell. I can
idea.
answer this question immediately. It is
Sure.
worth exactly what somebody's willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
You don't need to use any other rubric or anything else. It sounds like you've got it figured out. I mean, if you sold a sculpture for $5,000, then you know you're definitely on the path.
Yeah, it's like a 5-foot sculpture, but I wish I can show you just whatever's left, but I wanted, my goal is, and you're right, Patrick, because my husband said, well, I don't care if we sell it cheaper. We were in competition of seasoned artists, which we're not. Mind you, we use quality media, paints, and you can see it through the work. So, but how do you consult? I mean, can anyone out there help us as far as, do I need to authenticate it? What do I need to do to do this appropriately and sell to the public?
You know, you'd have to go to your accountant for that. I mean, the long and the short of it is until you sell a bunch of it, you don't even necessarily need to do anything. Like, you're going to be fine. I mean, I'm not giving specific tax advice, right? Or you know,
I wouldn't. Our CPA don't know anything like that. I just want somebody, a consultant that knows the art business, so I can do this legally. I don't care about costs right now.
Yeah, I mean, legally, you don't need anything other than a bank account and tell the government what you sold at the end of the year. That's it. Nothing else.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
And we don't have to have a business license to do this?
No, you do not need to have a business license, as far as I'm aware of. I don't think Texas has a different, you know, license, but you can just be a sole proprietor. You can go down and open the bank account. You can deposit your funds in there when you're done, and to claim it on your taxes at the end of the year. That's it.
Great. What is your advice as far as getting it out there to the public?
Market consistently all year long.
Do you do any consulting work, and so I can show you my pieces, or how do I?
Yeah, if you request a demo, one of our outreach team will sort of walk you through what all of the you know, the options are. We don't necessarily do consulting work, but the agency, we have a full-blown in-house marketing agency, right? That does a whole bunch of different stuff, and so you can potentially contact those guys without having to sign up, and you know, and discuss with them certain options you have. But you know, you need to get your art up on a website, and you need to be able to take credit card and take payment, and then you need to start work on marketing it, and that's it.
That we need instruction in that. So I'll contact you through your website, the marketing group.
Yeah, what I would do is I would just we have these requested demo buttons all over it, or they're in here in chat. You fill that thing out, put your information in there. One of our team will call you, set up like a 10-minute call, ask all the questions, explain your situation, say I might just want some consulting. What does the agency have to offer? And then they can connect you that way. It's the best way to do it.
Thank you so much
my
for your
pleasure.
advice. I sure will.
And thanks for the frontline work. Yeah, Carolyn, I see your chat. Well, you can bounce. We'll send an email after the fact that I'll make sure I get some more sculptors in there. For some reason, I thought Miro's wife did nothing but sculpture, but maybe I'm wrong on that. Okay, Lindsey Johnson, you're up next. Go ahead, Lindsey. And Sharon, I'll get to yours too. Don't worry.
Hi, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Hi, I just wanted to help out. I think the last artist who was speaking, her name was that Carolyn?
No, the last one was Anna.
Oh, Anna.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hi, Anna. I was just listening, and I'll just tell you what I did. Like you, though, I am also starting out. But what I found, in order to sell online to take payments, I needed to set up my business as a sole proprietor. So I just went on my state's website for registering a small business, and so just like what Patrick said, I registered as a sole proprietor, and I got an EIN number, and then I was in. I was ready to accept payment.
Yep. But even like early on, like, you know, the tendency is to stress about all of those things and not stress about the only thing that matters. The only thing that matters is selling the work, right?
Selling the work.
Like, so how I would literally approach it, I would not get a bank account. I would not get a business license. You do not open a bank account until you have a check ready to go and deposit, right? And that's what everyone does. It's backwards. And, you know, because you don't know if you don't have a viable business yet. Like early on, don't worry. It'll be okay. Sell 4 or 5 pieces, take payment in PayPal or Venmo or a good old fashioned check, then go and start the business and then tell your accountant about it, right? But at least you know your work is sold first.
Right.
But, you know, that's just one of those things. But yeah, it's what you did is so easy, right? It's so easy. You get the EIN, you open the bank account, it's open. You can you can do it, whatever you need to do.
It really was. I think it took me 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
To go through all that. It was super simple.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you're awesome, Lindsey, for stepping up and helping a fellow artist out. I love you for that.
So, well, thanks. Yeah. And so I'm really excited to be here too, because I'm not set up yet with art storefronts. Because I have been, I set up a website with Squarespace and I've had 0 traffic.
Yeah.
But I've sold my work to strangers in person through like, you know, displaying my work at bars and restaurants. And so I've gotten those hand-to-hand checks. And that's when I set up my business and set up a bank account. But awesome. I have not sold any work online. So that's where I would like to see my business grow and reach a wider audience and make more money.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, early on, you know, I don't know where the software got programmed into our heads, but everyone thinks like there's a website out there where you just upload your work and poof, you have a business and you're getting sales, right? Like Shopify, which is one of the biggest e-commerce companies in the world. It's actually the biggest company in terms of market cap in the entire country of Canada, which is an interesting fact. But they have a stat that says 99% of Shopify store owners fail. And the reality that they fail has nothing to do with Shopify. It has to do with the fact that everyone puts their stuff up on a website and thinks customers magically show up. And sadly, it's not how it works, right? Like, you know, are our websites massively better than Squarespace? Absolutely they are. Okay. Squarespace is set up to sell everything. We're set up to sell art. It's not even a fair competition. But at the same time, if I just grabbed your business, Lindsey, and picked it right up off of Squarespace and started it right in art storefronts, you would not really sell all that much more because you have a marketing problem like everyone else does, right? Like we all do. And so you have to work consistently on your marketing. Step 1, you've already taken care of. You know, step 1, like the advice I was given to Lisa and the other gentleman's name I forgot. You have to validate that your work will sell. Once you know you have a product that the market wants, you're ready to start on your marketing. And guess what? Takes 3 to 5 years of marketing to build a substantial business online. No one likes to talk about that little fact. Steve Jobs has that line, not me, by the way. It takes 3 to 5 years to build anything of value in today's day and age, and I believe in it so truthfully. And what no one does is A, start out with that proper piece of perspective of how long it takes to actually build something of value. And then B, no one ever does it consistently. No one ever does it consistently. Everyone's like, this is going to be my year. I'm going to market. And then they market for 3 months and they're like, I didn't get the results that I wanted. Then they quit. Right. And it's like, you can't do that. You have to stay at this consistently. But if you do, oh boy, is it a fantastic time to be an artist or a photographer attempting to sell their art online. Why? The aforementioned health crisis that we're living through, I don't think they'll ban me for health crisis, I think I can say that, has created one of the most unique sets of circumstances for artists and photographers to sell work in the history of mankind. I'm reticent to use the term windfall, but that it is a bit of an explanation, and let me explain. Number one, everyone's, in some form of self-imposed or mandated lockdown, right? They're spending more time in their house. Most people are not going back to work anytime soon. Remote work is going to be sort of the future inevitably. As a result of everyone being, locked down, e-commerce adoption, right? And I mean the total percentage of sales that takes place e-commerce versus the total percentage of sales that take place on retail. It was on its normal growth trajectory, right? And what happens is 10 years of growth got truncated down into 3 months, meaning all sorts of people that were not buying things online all of a sudden started buying things online. This has been going on for long enough now that it's becoming habit, right? And so e-commerce sales are now the norm, okay? So as a result also of this health crisis, everything in home decor has basically exploded, right? Everything from remodeling a house, to Sonos speakers, to a nice office chair, to streaming equipment, to, yes, art and photography on the walls has been exploding. Everyone's spending more time in their houses. People are leaving the cities for bigger houses. So you have all of these health crisis related circumstances that have happened. And then you have essentially increased demand for art and photography to begin with, increased e-commerce penetration. And then on the other side, all of the venues in which you can purchase art or photography has just dropped, right? The galleries are more or less closed or people are not going into them. All the shows and fair circuits have been canceled. The ones that haven't are getting like 10 to 15 to 20% of normal attendance, right? And, the only other thing out there are the online galleries. Well, good luck trying to break through those. There's 100 million artists doing everything imaginable. And unless the algorithm likes you, you're not going to sell a dime. So really, the future belongs to the person, artist, photographer, who is selling direct, okay, and has the ability to market to their customers in perpetuity. And that's an amazing circumstance, right? There's no 50-50 split. You get to keep all the data on your customers. You do not have to load the car up on a Thursday night with all your stuff and your booth, pay your booth fees, sit on your feet for 8 hours a day, stay in a hotel, eat crappy food, drive back. You're exhausted on Monday. Maybe you get back to your business on Tuesday. So that's all phenomenal. That doesn't mean it's a rosy situation or it's easy, right? But at the same time, I fundamentally believe that if you have the business model right, what we teach, you have to sell direct, you have to retain your customer information, and you have to market in consistently all year long. If you understand that business model and you put yourself on the path and you've already validated your work sells, there has never been a rosier future because there's no more gatekeepers, right? There's no gallery that you have to worry about. There's no more leaving your house if you're so inclined. You can do all of it directly from your house. You guys create all of it. And with print on demand, aside from people like Carolyn, who, she's not going to get any of her stuff printed, but with print on demand, you hold no physical inventory whatsoever. You don't have to touch anything, right? Like if you sell one of these things, someone else prints it and ships it and it shows up. Phenomenal. There's phenomenal aspects about it. But the issue is attention. Right? We are living in the attention economy, and with it, you can do anything. Without it, you're not in the game. And I look at so many different artists, so many different photographers that are. I wish I could be selling more. My galleries have stopped. My offline revenue sources are toast. And it's like, I understand you need to start working on your own. It's not going to happen overnight, but boy, is the future rosy if you do. So sorry, Lindsay, you got me fired up. I went on a rant there. Oh, she muted herself. Okay. But anyway, that's how I believe about everything. Sharon, I'm just going to mute you next because I know your question was next. And you probably should just answer it live. Yeah, gotcha.
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked.
Yay, thank you. I have never Zoomed before.
Oh, well, congrats. The first time for everything.
Well, my question was, I don't know if you saw it. I wrote it because I didn't know how to unmute.
Mm-hmm.
My husband was an amazing artist.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you muted yourself. You muted yourself. Hold on. It's that in the... Yep.
Okay.
Gotcha. Go ahead. Okay. Your husband was an amazing artist.
My husband was the artist, and he's passed on.
Mm-hmm.
But he left me 2,000 pieces of art.
Wow.
At least, not to mention photography.
Mm-hmm.
I've been posting it on Instagram. I've got 11,400 followers.
Whoa.
Lots of really wonderful comments and new friends and everything.
Yes.
But I'm getting a little bit older, obviously, and I kind of would like to sell some of it, but some of it I don't want to sell because I love it, but all I've been doing is photographing it with my iPhone.
Yep.
Is that a good enough quality to be doing prints, to be doing merchandising?
Well, let's couple of things. One, 11,000 Instagram followers tells me you're on the path, right? You have an incredible collection. Two, this is an FYI, and I love this. Do you know who died with 45,000 pieces? 45,000 pieces in their inventory? Pablo Picasso. Okay.
Oh.
How have those done? How have those done after the fact? So you might have a serious collection on your hand and something very awesome. What I advocate early on is exactly what you're doing. Do not overthink it. Do not stress. Take the iPhone photos, put it up, get the order, then worry about whether or not you need a higher resolution photo to reproduce it, right? So in your case, it is a no-brainer. We can help you. We can help you tremendously. I highly recommend you request a demo and get in. If you've got 11,000 followers, that tells me you are way, way, way over the target. You just need some advice on how to execute. But we have, just for your own notification, we have a guy, all he did for like 20 years was photograph artwork for reproduction. And he wrote this amazing article, on how to do it from a cell phone all the way down to professionally scanned and then doing it yourself with an SLR and everything in between. So I'm going to have April put that in the chat. Don't worry if you don't know how to get the chat. We'll email it to you after the fact. I want you to read that just because it'll help you. But I think, you need to start selling it. You need to get all of it photographed, even the originals you don't want to sell, because you can sell the reproductions of that. And, it sounds like you are already well on your way with marketing. If you've got 11,000 Instagram followers,
check out the Art of Bill Oakes on Instagram.
Is that the @ handle, Art of Bill Oakes?
Art of Bill Oakes.
Okay. April, maybe
right now I've got a lot of photographs, just photography, because he did a lot of cool manipulations. But if you go down into my feed, there's a lot of his paintings too.
Awesome. I love it. And have you been selling it too, here and there?
A little bit, but what I started out doing was galleries, and my God, they take 50%.
Yeah, I know. Trust me.
So I sold a few last year but then with the pandemic,
Yep.
they're closed.
I know. It's really, really sad what's happened to them. I think they'll come back, but they're gonna when they do come back, half of them are gonna be out of business, and they're gonna be real choosy on the other side of things about who they're gonna let in, who they're not gonna let in these just wild times that we live in. But
I have one I'm pretty sure would let me in, but it's kind of heartbreaking you have to do the framing and
yes, and you don't need them. With 11,000 Instagram followers, I can show you how to leverage that with live art shows and get way more eyeballs on that art than you would in the gallery.
Two of them have actually asked me if I sell prints, but I don't know how to go about getting prints.
Yeah,
really.
We can teach you.
Good quality ones.
You got to put a demo in. Trust me, we will help you out significantly.
All right.
Yeah,
thank you.
Significantly. And I really am optimistic for you, because if you've gotten that many followers on Instagram, which is really hard to do, then you've got some marketing chops already. So you're on the path. And sorry for your loss. Sorry for your loss though. You unmuted. Hold on. You unmuted, Sharon. Or you muted rather. Microphone icon bottom left. One more time. I'll let you know when you get it.
On Instagram, I've noticed that there's some artists that do sponsored things. What is that? I've never tried that.
Yeah, sponsored post is like when I pay you to post something in conjunction, and so
you pay someone to push it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never tried that.
Yeah, you don't need to try that. You don't even need to waste 2 seconds with that. Ignore it. Not for you. Yeah. One less thing.
Yeah, not with 11,400.
Yeah, well, you just need to start selling direct on Instagram. You need to be building Facebook. You need to, start building your email list, having sales. You need to do all the basic fundamentals of running an art business.
I do need a new website. The website was one my husband did, and it's like 25 years old.
Yeah, that's got to go. That's got to go. But we can help you with that for sure.
Thank you. I'll do a demo. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, Dwayne, you're up next. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha. What's up?
All right. Good afternoon, Patrick and Nick and everybody on the call. It's good to Zoom meet you.
Ditto.
I have questions, and I apologize in advance if any of these have been asked already.
No, don't worry. Go ahead.
Meeting and had trouble getting back on. My first question has to do with the size of the staff for art storefronts. You said you have over 4,000 artists. So one of my concerns is, if I sign up with you guys, how much time or energy would actually go into what I'm trying to do, as far as your staff is concerned?
Yeah, I think worldwide we probably have 50 employees now, somewhere around there. But
how many?
50. Yeah.
Okay.
What's crazy to join is that, we run Zoom calls like this with our customers 6 days a week. 6 days a week, multiple a day, that you can pop into at any point in time, get one-on-one help. So, and if you pulled all 4,800 customers, right, all the ones that are active and that are actually trying to work on their business, I think it would be 99% positive in terms of the support that they get from our staff, not hyperbole. So I can just tell you that's zero issue.
Okay, my next question is about the initial payment. From what I understand, there's an initial payment from, I think it was $9.99 up to $2,700 or somewhere about. I know there's also a monthly subscription fee.
Yep.
And then also, I believe it was 15% commission on sales. Is that right?
It depends on which plan you pick. Whether it's the lower one or the higher one. I think the transaction fees sort of swing between, I think, as low as like 5% up to 15%. I think I'm not 100% on all of that. That's sort of why we do the demo process. But I think the way to think of it is start with the website stuff, right? There's 100 different website companies you could use. Everyone uses a subscription fee, right? That's what they do. When you sign up, the down payment is your tuition to the Art Business University, right? And there's no graduates. It's a one-time fee. It never stops. And that means week in, week out, for the rest of your life as a customer, you get marketing training. It'll never end. It's the most valuable thing that we do because, why does everyone goes to a website, doesn't get any sales? Why? Because they don't work on their marketing, because they're not taught, right? So that's the single solitary biggest thing. So the website's awesome. It's amazing. We don't really have any direct competition, so there's really no one to compete with. It's the best at selling art and photography online, full stop. But the marketing education is the secret sauce, and that never stops either. And once you're in, everything, all upgrades, all new features, all everything, you just get automatically too. So, and you can upgrade or downgrade plans at any point in time too.
Okay, well, let's say based on what you just said, if I signed up for the lower level today or tomorrow, whenever, and I decide, I don't know, 6 months from now, I want to go to your highest level, would I be able to do it at last year's cost?
Yes.
Assuming that's still available now.
Yep. Last year's cost. Okay. No problem. Once you're locked in, you're locked in.
Okay, my next question, which is what I ask everybody, regardless of who I'm doing business with, what is your refund policy?
It's a good question. I don't even know what our refund policy is. I think, one thing that is extremely important for us is that everyone gets treated fairly and everyone gets a fair deal. So there are some situations where it ends up just not being a fit for a number of different reasons, right? And, not every relationship works out. And so we almost always do like a golden parachute to get you out, give you a bunch of free months and everything else. So it's always awesome in that capacity. I think in terms of actual refund, maybe it's 60 or 90 days. I don't know. But we don't have issues with it, right? Like it never ends up cropping up. If someone's really having a bad time and it's really not working out, you can come to the table and say like, look, this is not meeting my expectations. Can I get out of here? But I think, if you did that 30, 60, 90 days, I'm sure they would just refund you 100%. It wouldn't be a problem. If you did it 2 years in, it might be a bit of a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. My next question is about the actual transactions. What is the money? I have two websites. I have my first website, which is pretty much a dead site, which some of my fine artwork on paper primarily, but also metal, like stainless, a little bit of stainless steel.
Okay.
I think I have a piece on there. I'm a photographer, by the way, and artist. So that's mainly what I do. Pretty much what I do stems from photography, some kind of, whether it's a straight photo on paper or otherwise. And so that's actually hosted by who is it, Mezart, which is an art hosting platform here in the Bay Area where I live, San Francisco, Oakland Bay Area. I also have a Shopify store. On my Shopify store, I sell athletic apparel. With some of my abstract light paintings printed onto the garments. They are all over printed shirts, leggings, sweatshirts, and so on. I recently added fine art prints, limited edition fine art prints, which also come with certificates of authenticity with match serial numbered holograms, one for the certificate, one for the artwork. And that's mainly what I'm pushing these days. And I'm doing okay with that, I would say. I'm not getting into my whole long story, but I've been involved with Family Matters for the last couple of years. So I really haven't even marketed that website since last spring, even though I have added stuff to the website. I made a couple of sales or whatever in the meantime, but I really haven't properly marketed that. And I realize that. And that is my Achilles heel.
Yeah,
as
everybody's.
Everybody's. Artists know marketing is always the problem.
Yeah.
So I would like to know, how does the money work? Does the money, when I make a sale, does the money go into my account? Does it come to you?
So every customer has their own credit card account. Everyone just uses Stripe, which is Stripe's like the biggest, payment integrator that exists. And so an order comes in, and what will happen is if it's an original, the money gets routed to you immediately and it goes directly into your account. We don't touch it. It doesn't come into our account at all. You're responsible for filling it, right? If you're using one of our print on demand partners, to print and ship any of those things, order comes in, printer gets paid, you get paid at the same time, order ships out, right? So the money never comes to us, period. It goes directly to your account, to answer your question.
So I guess you're getting your commission from the printer then, or somewhere in that transaction?
Somewhere in that transaction, exactly. So what will happen is the transactions will go down on your website. The money will go to your account. It'll go to the printer if the printer's printing it. If they're not, and then we take our transaction fee right there.
Okay. And then one thing you mentioned about your in-house marketing, which really captures my interest. I tried this marketing thing. I tried Facebook ads. To me, Facebook ads is very unintuitive, to say the least.
Yeah.
Started on a course with that, trying to learn that with Shopify. Much going on to really be able to absorb it. It's not a simple thing.
And let me just say too, because this is going to bring up one of my favorite analogies, but guys, it's so important. And Carolyn, this goes for you too, especially, my dear. I have a boat, Dwayne, and you have a boat, right? And we're both leaving from the harbor in SFL. We hired the same size boat, same captain, same fuel, and we're going out. We're steaming out under the Golden Gate Bridge. We're going to go out fishing, right? Your boat has fishing rods and bait, okay? My boat has fishing rods and bait. It's got lobster pots. It's got nets. I've got kites for tuna. I've got harpoons for spearfish, for swordfish. I've got everything imaginable, right? And so we spear out there. You got your little line in the water. I've got everything, right? And we come back. Who stands more likely to catch any fish in that, right? I have a much better chance than you do. And so what people do that are new to marketing is they think, I know what I can do. I can get on and I can do Facebook and Instagram ads. But what people don't know, what they don't tell you, is if you do not have the other systems in place, you are never going to see ROI on Facebook ads. Never. And let me explain. You need to have, yes, the prerequisite of your art up on a website where you can take credit card, but you need to be marketing regularly, i.e. you need to be posting on the socials on a regular basis. You need to be having sales when the time to have a sale comes. You need to understand all the mechanics of running a sale. How do you send an email? How does the email dovetail with your Facebook and Instagram posts? What is the discount? What is the scarcity? How does all of that go on? And you need to be doing it consistently all year. If you're not doing that, you will not ever be profitable on running Facebook or Instagram ads. You might as well take that money, save it for winter, go outside and burn it in the backyard and at least get some warmth out of it. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you do not ever think you are going to go and run out. And there's two kinds of ads that you can show on Facebook. There's warm and there's cold. It's the relationship example. If I've never met Dwayne, he does not know what I do, he's never heard of me, that's a cold audience, okay? A warm audience is Dwayne's met me once, or he's seen my art once, or he might know me really well and know my kids' names, anything in between. That's a warm audience, okay? A warm audience is defined, you can generate those audiences by they're on your email list, or they visited your Facebook page, or they commented on an Instagram post, okay? Warm audience. If you are not starting with warm ads first, okay, and making that profitable, you have absolutely no business going to cold ads. But what everyone does early on, because they don't have an audience or they don't have any followers to go after, is they immediately jump into the cold. And the odds of making cold pay, okay, with the odds of making cold pay, let me put it this way. The odds of making cold traffic pay, i.e. you are going to see an ROI of that without having the rest of the marketing system in place, is like going in and playing the lotto at 7-Eleven, okay? The odds of making cold ads pay, even with some portion of the marketing system in place, is sort of like Vegas, right? It's just not good. And selling art or photography online, everyone thinks they're going to tell you, go online with your ads and advertise your sale, okay? And have a percentage off and a scarcity to it. It expires in 48 hours. And that's just not the way art sells, right? You could get away with that on your merch sales. You could get away with that on a sweatshirt, hitting them with a sweatshirt or a hat, right? Or smaller stuff. But that's not the way art sells. You know, if there are 100 art transactions, someone randomly seeing a post on Facebook or Instagram, and, you know, they just moved, they have some white wall space, and that's going to lead to a transaction right there on the spot, that is one sale out of 100. The way art does sell is, I see Dwayne's post on Instagram. I'm like, that was pretty cool. Maybe I saved the post. A week goes by, he targets me with a warm ad and says, subscribe to my newsletter. I subscribe to Dwayne's newsletter. I start following him for 3 months. I move apartments. I need some art. Then I buy it from Dwayne. But I've been exposed to his work. I know who he is. I start to have a relationship with him. I start to like his peccadillos and say, this guy's kind of like me, or he's interesting. And that's how it sells. And everyone thinks that you can just go on and run cold traffic. And it is the biggest fallacy. I've directly managed over $5 million in Facebook ads. I've burned so much money off, I can't even begin to tell you. Thinking that you can just go and jump in and do that, you know, it is the biggest amount of snake oil that is being sold in the marketplace today. And it infuriates me because I see it time and time and time again. And it's like, Patrick, what's your advice for cold ads on Facebook? My advice is don't do them. Don't do them, right? Because I have not seen a single solitary person make that pay right out of the gates. So anyway, you got me going on a rant, but there you go.
No, I agree, because I've actually experienced that in my art life, you know, my professional art. I've been doing this a long time, and so I've seen what a lot of the fallacies are, a lot of the the deficiencies are. And as far as my practice is concerned, it's marketing, period. And like I said, I know a lot of artists, and from what I can tell, that's their main deficiency as well. What I've noticed is most artists that I know anyway really are not about the business, but that's another conversation. I don't want to get into that. I am about the business, and I realize I need to know about marketing or have someone do it for me, because it really is a separate job.
Oh, it is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm interested to see what you have to say about your in-house marketing and what that's about, and whether or not that's an additional cost.
Yes, it is. It is, but it's also, it's everything from a la carte to, like, you know, almost fully hosted managed services and everything in between. You know, I use this analogy all the time. You know, you can tell I'm big fan of analogies. Like, you know, you sign up, Dwayne, I'm asking you to own a McDonald's. That's what being a solopreneur in the art business is. You got to know how to open and close the building, set the alarm. You got to know how to mop the damn floors. You got to know how to man the register, right? Man the drive-through window, flip the burgers, handle the fries, do the ordering. You need some experience in doing all of that. Otherwise, trying to hire somebody, they can snow you on it, right? You won't be able to truly keep them accountable. So you have to balance. Yes, you need to have some level of knowledge of all that stuff with, okay, I get that, but also, you know, sometimes I need some help. Right? Sometimes I want to go and grab some gasoline off the shelf to pour in the little fire that I'm working on here. And then also too, you know, what we realized with the agency is that, I mean, dude, our customers are an 80-20. 80% of them have a full-time job, right? They have a full-time job, or they're a photographer with the service portion of their business, or they're an artist teaching classes, right? Or whatever, or they have a full regular career and they're trying to grow their art business. So yes, 20% of them are full-time. But the ones that are in the 80%, you know, most of them, if we polled them, is the goal, turn this into a full-time, have it replace my job, have it be my retirement, you know, along those lines. And those folks have the resources to pay for it, right? And like, you need to offer the service to be able to just get that going on. And so we keep adding more and more and more. Like, we'll tune up your Instagram account, 2 best practices. We'll tune up your Facebook account, 2 best practices, right? We'll help you run a sales campaign. We'll help you grow your following list. We'll help you run a giveaway, and then we'll manage your Facebook ads, like, and everything in between. So it's all a balance with anything else. But for you, Dwayne, regardless, like, given the age that we live in, you know, one of the interesting abstractions is, look, You're an artist, okay? You have a talent creating things. You should be able to sell that talent on as many damn different products as possible, because let me tell you, it's hard to make a business work. And so the more items you have, potential revenue opportunities you have is fantastic. So I'm putting everything, Dwayne, under one roof, okay? Especially the athletic gear and all the art and all of it together. And I'm working on my marketing, right? Like, that's all your products. You take all those things to market. You start working on your marketing. You see where the revenue comes in, and you adjust the taste as needs be, right? Like, you know, if that's your art and it's awesome, you know, you want to sell it on as many things as possible. And, you know, we turned merch on for the first time this year, and now we're like kind of coming and swinging around. Like, you know, I said it on the pre-recorded thing earlier, but I was sort of against it early on, like, you know, the merch concept. And then I had like a 360-degree turnaround. It's like, what do I care? Like, it's so hard to make it as an entrepreneur in today's day and age. Our job is to give the artist, the photographer, as many doggone items that they can sell and monetize their work on as possible. And we just keep adding more and more and more and more and more. And it's like, to your point, like, you know, you're selling a bunch of sweatpants, right? Like, or it's like a new hoodie. Like, we're going to find out who makes that doggone hoodie. We're going to go and get it. We're going to start doing print on demand, right? Direct to garment printing and throw it in the store, because it's like, you want as many revenue opportunities as possible. It's so important. So anyway, I ran, but.
Does your platform integrate with Shopify?
No.
I mean, not with Printful.
Guten is the one that we use currently. They're the same size as Printful. I think they're even bigger than Printful, actually. So you can go to Guten.com, Gooten, I think, and see all their products. But you can already do sweatshirts, T-shirts, mugs, puzzles, hats, cell phone cases, throw pillows, totes. We're adding photo books. We're adding a bunch of stuff now, actually.
Do any of your vendors offer the ability to do limited edition fine art photos?
Oh yeah, that's easy. I mean, that's just you set.
I mean,
you set
authenticity.
Oh yeah.
Thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Those are my questions. Thank you. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, no worries. Those are good questions. Okay. I think I had a couple in the chat. Let me see. People are asking Sharon, how did you get all those Instagram followers? I love it. Yeah, Anna, just request a demo and ask those folks. They'll walk you through everything. What else? Yeah, Preston, all we do is teach you how to market all year long. So yes, we'll teach you how to grow your followers at every stripe and capacity. We don't ever stop doing that, because like, look, Facebook and Instagram right now, they have all the attention. We can't afford to be upset about that, right? Like, you have to go where the attention is. It's the easiest way to grow an art business. So yes, we'll never stop teaching that until some new platform comes and overtakes them, and then we'll be on to that one. Philip, you had another question. Go ahead. Go again, Philip.
Yes. I'd like to know about the workbooks.
Yeah,
How do I get them?
Yeah, so the workbooks are just playbooks, and it's, when we say playbook, it's like a step-by-step guide, Philip, that'll teach you all the various different things, like how to, the playbook would be how to run a live art show on Instagram, and it'll go through step-by-step how to do every single solitary thing. And sadly, the only way to get them is we only publish them for our members, so they're all just internal documents, and you get them when you become a customer.
How can I get the internal document?
You would need to sign up and become a customer.
I would just need to sign up?
Yeah. That's sort of like one of our biggest things that we offer is just, like I said, the marketing education. So, yeah. I think we have one on Facebook ads I could send you, actually.
How do I sign up?
You would request a demo. But again, I think in your case, Philip, you got to try to sell your work first. Don't worry about the demo right now. Just, try to get that work to market, get it printed, and take a shot at selling it and see if you can sell it. If you can sell it, you're ready to roll. If not, then yeah.
And also I will create a Facebook groups for my art and promote my website on social media more.
Yeah, that's important too.
And also, I have comic books. Besides, I want to do comic books too.
Yeah, you should try to sell the comic books too. No two ways about it. I mean, I realize probably trying to get those printed is a little bit of a pain in the butt.
Also,
but
there's an irresistible author. I could give maybe do a little video doing my work. That way people will know what's like to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like offer a little video once they subscribe, once they go on my website.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Offer a link to my video. Offer a link to a video how to do painting my style.
Yeah, the video is great content always. I mean, you cannot do any better than video in today's day and age. Straight up, you know, it's been around a long time, but like, look, we're all on a Zoom call. I mean, Sharon was on a Zoom call for the very first time, figured out how to unmute herself in 2 seconds, right? Like, it's amazing how friction-free video is in today's day and age. It's a powerful way to sell. And, you know, I encourage everybody. I have like a weekly show called Art Business Mornings. It's a live stream and it's also on our podcast, but done some episodes on live art shows. I'm extremely bullish on live art shows. I think it's the future of selling direct, and you know, there's a bunch of information to back me up on that. But yeah, thanks guys. Great call today. Great questions. Enjoyed talking to all of you. Again, if you want to find out more information, you can request a demo on our site, or it's in the chat. We'll email you after the fact with like any links or anything that we brought up. And you know, we run 3 of these guys a week. So if you got more questions, feel free to pop back in and see us on one. But thanks guys. Everybody have a great day, great week.